It was the 3rd of June, a day that started the same as every other June day in the deep south, with a gentle breeze blowing heavy air across the Mississippi Delta. By the time the sun was coming up, the river had already finished with Billie Joe McAllister. Far out in the bleached cotton, small against the enormous sky, Papa and Brother threw hay bales onto a flatbed. Papa never slows. The men are tiny. The land is everything. She'd been sitting there since early morning, watching the fields. She was always quiet, reserved, but there was something in the way she was absent that was different from other days. Yesterday, she'd been on the bridge with him. The Tallahatchie moves slow in June, the colour of clay, the colour of something buried. They stood above it in the haze, and she was holding something out over the railing. She let go of it, whatever it was. The river took it without noticing. Her hands came back to the rail and held on. Below, the Tallahatchie moved south without looking back. And then it was gone. The bridge held its shape. The river moved on. The delta went on being flat and wide and indifferent to everything. Mama leant out the screen door and called them in for dinner. It was on the table at noon, the way it always was. Papa spoke with a mouthful of food. They pulled that McAllister boy out the river this morning. He reached for the cornbread without looking up. Pass the black-eyed peas. Wasn't he the one you used to go around with? Mama watched her daughter's face drain its colour. Seems like I used to see you two down by the old miller's place. You two were up on the bridge just yesterday, weren't you? Eat your dinner, girl. You haven't touched a single bite. Papa jumped in. Boy made his choices. World keeps turning. Hay still needs baling. Rain's still coming. The kitchen does not stop. Brother's eyes go to his sister before anyone else's. He says, to nobody in particular, she hasn't said 2 words all day. Papa chews. The fan turns. Brother remembered the county fair last summer. Billie Joe won a toy frog at the ring toss, then tried to put it down his sister's back. She'd shrieked loud enough to turn heads 3 stalls over. I saw Billie Joe just Saturday, out at the sawmill, laughing about something, and at church Sunday. Pass the peas. At the church on Sunday, Billie Joe was talking with the girl on the steps, while Mama was talking to the Reverend's wife. He'd said something low that made her have to look away so he wouldn't see her face. The girl is perfectly still, eyes down on the tablecloth. Under the table, unseen by everyone, her hands drift to her stomach. Unconscious, brief, then settle back on her lap. She pushes her food, sighs, and doesn't speak. And nobody at the table made her. Down at the beauty parlour, the women were more specific. I heard he'd been keeping company with the Owens girl, said Mrs. Tatum. The quiet one. You know the one. I know the one, said the woman under the dryer. Old Clyde said he'd seen the boy at the sawmill road not a week past. Couldn't make out what he was doing down there in the heat of the day. I can't make out much at all, the other sighed. The women agreed. In the days that followed, she didn't eat much. Mama noticed. Papa didn't say. The family went on around her the way families do at mealtimes, filling plates, passing dishes, talking about the things that could be talked about. The preacher came by on the Wednesday. He sat in the good chair with his hat in his hands and spoke about the Lord's plan and the mystery of a young life cut short. The girl sat in the corner, listening. He didn't look at her directly. The preacher never once looked at her, the most noticeable thing about him. She remembered standing up on the bridge the morning before he went over. Her hand had moved to her stomach for just a moment, involuntarily. Then it came back to the rail and held on. And she looked at the water. That night she sat in the dark, the house asleep around her. The delta air coming in through the open window, hot and still and carrying nothing. She wasn't crying. She was just sitting with a weight pressing on her mind. Papa always said, "The world don't stop turning." The next fall, it turned without him. Mama stood at the graveside, smaller than she used to be, with her daughter and her son. The trees were beginning to turn. Nobody said much. After the guests had gone, they sat at the kitchen table. The same table, the same plates, with one empty chair. Mama's hands flat on the cloth, looking at nothing. The girl put her hand over her mother's, and they sat like that until the light outside was gone. She came back to the bridge when the summer came again, alone this time. She had picked the flowers from the field at the edge of the farm, the same field Papa used to bale hay in. And she stood at the rail and looked at the water. She let them go. The Tallahatchie took them the way it takes everything, without a fuss, without answer, moving south. The flowers got smaller, until the river was just a river again. And what she'd carried up to that bridge and let go of in 2 different summers, the river kept its secret. The river always does. She comes here on Sundays now. She doesn't tell anyone why. And no one asks.